Hi, welcome to today's video. I'm going to share you something about type 2 diabetes, what it is and can it be prevented, etc. Now, I'm not a medical trained person, but I think I read this book, Story of Human Body by Daniel Lieberman. It's an excellent book. Daniel is an anthropologist and Harvard professor, and he has essentially put together this book where he calls upon a lot of mismatched diseases, right? So these diseases were not prevalent earlier. Maybe few generations ago, we never heard these diseases. Now, with industrialization and automation, we have uh, seen lifespan of humans increasing, but then this morbidity related diseases is on the rise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a short video which will describe you what these diseases and how it works and how it can be possibly prevented. Okay, so whenever we eat any food, we all know that after eating food, after digestion, glucose is released, sugar is released into the bloodstream. Normally, when our body functions, this energy or the glucose gets absorbed by different parts of the body and gets burned out, and this is how we get energy, right? So, this is the baseline. Now, what happens under certain conditions, and I'm going to go into that. Uh, your body's muscles, organs, they stop absorbing the sugar, right? Fundamentally, at the cellular level. Uh, and once they stop absorbing the sugar, then sugar levels gets elevated. Now, let's go a little deeper into what it means. So, your body has pancreas which basically generate a hormone or chemical called insulin. Now this insulin gets generated, and what happens is when the blood sugar is there in reaches the different cells, and also insulin is there, insulin acts as a catalyst, and basically it triggers these cells to absorb the sugar from blood, and that's how your blood sugar levels are regulated. Now, what happens under certain conditions? Your body develops insulin resistivity, which means that even though there is insulin in the blood, there is sugar in the blood, uh, the organs or the cells refuse to absorb the sugar, right? So there is a component called glucose transporter which is supposed to absorb the sugar. They simply don't absorb the sugar even though insulin is there. So what happens? The pancreas create more insulin, right? They work harder because sugar levels are high. They work even harder, and at some point of time they just give up. So your body's insulin level drops, and whatever small amount of sugar was being absorbed, even that doesn't get absorbed, and it triggers a vicious cycle. So your sugar levels keeps on increasing, and it can lead to your organs like heart, kidney, uh, your eyesight, numbness, and so forth, right? So far, why it happens now? Obviously, this was not prevalent few generations ago, and it's a recent phenomena. So I mean recent in the sense, maybe few generations it has really multiplied magnifold. And one of the reason is that author calls in this book is about diet, right? The diet pattern, intake a lot of processed food which has sucrose and fructose in large quantity. Now when these body absorbs these sucrose and fructose, uh, it releases something triglycerides, right? So these triglycerides uh, get deposited into liver. We call it as fatty liver, as well as in the bloodstream, and then presence of those basically disturbs this whole sugar absorption cycle. Now another thing is lack of physical activity and large amount of abdominal fat, visceral fat, right? Again, presence of these is also indication of triggering this whole phenomena. Now, how to prevent it? The author cites different studies, and especially reversal is possible in the early stages by diet and exercise. So this is basically a short video. I just tried to explain this, and hopefully you found it useful.